Day 15 of 90. Your Spring Boot endpoint is returning corrupted data. User B is seeing user A's account balance, and nothing in your code looks wrong. Today we trace that bug from a single instance field all the way down to how the JVM allocates objects, and you'll see why one annotation everyone reaches for doesn't actually fix it. Classes aren't containers. They're contracts about who is allowed to change what. Here's the crime scene. You wrote a user service, marked it at service, and added a field, private user current user. In a controller you set it from the request, then read it later in the same method. Works perfectly on your machine. Then you deploy, two users hit the endpoint at the same time, and their data crosses. Why? Because its service is a singleton. Spring creates exactly one user service object for the entire application, and every HTTP thread shares it. To understand why that's lethal, drop to first principles. When the JVM runs new user, it allocates that object on the heap, one block of memory, shared across all threads. A variable like current user doesn't hold the object, it holds a reference, a pointer to that heap address. So when thread A writes current user and thread B writes it a microsecond later, they're not getting separate copies. They're stomping on the same memory location. Reference semantics means sharing, and sharing without coordination means corruption. Now the trap. Someone says, just added scope, prototype, and Spring gives you a fresh bean each time. Except it doesn't, not here. Prototype scope creates a new bean per injection point, but your singleton controller injected the service once, at startup. That one instance is reused for every request forever. The scope annotation changed nothing because the injection already happened. You can't annotate your way out of a design that put request state into shared object state. The real fix is structural. Stop storing request state in instance fields at all. State that belongs to one request lives on the stack as a local variable or a method parameter because every thread gets its own stack. So instead of a current user field, you pass user into the method, public receipt process, user. Now there is no shared mutable field to corrupt. The concurrency bug isn't patched, it's impossible, because the data never touches shared memory. This is the deeper lesson about class design: make illegal states unrepresentable. Take a payment request with public mutable fields. A service method receives one, tweaks request.amount for a calculation, and silently mutates the caller's object, a bug that surfaces 3 layers away. Fix it at the boundary. Make fields private and final, assign them once in the constructor, and defensively copy anything mutable you're handed. This.items equals list.copy of items. An immutable object can be shared across 1,000 threads safely, because there's nothing left to change. Constructors are where you enforce your contract. A public constructor lets anyone build any combination of fields, valid or not. A private constructor plus a static factory method lets you guard the gate. Database connection.create can check a max connection invariant, reject the call, or return a pooled instance, things new can never do. And here's the bridge: Spring's add-bean method is exactly that factory. You write the construction logic once, Spring calls it, manages the lifecycle, and your invariant survives dependency injection intact. Prove it. Write a JUnit test that fires the old service from 2 threads with a countdown latch and asserts the results don't cross, it goes red on the field version. Then run the refactored, parameter passing version under the same load test, green. That red to green is the whole point. You didn't add locks or synchronized blocks. You changed where the state lived, and the entire class of bug evaporated. Day 15 done. The takeaway: object identity and object state are different things. A singleton has one identity, so it must never hold per request state. Push mutable state onto the stack, make your shared objects immutable, and let constructors enforce what's legal. Design the boundary and the concurrency bug can't exist. Subscribe for day 16, where we go deeper into the JVM heap and garbage collection.